Graduating from university is one of the most memorable achievements of most students' academic career. For many, this is a coming-of-age moment as it marks the end of their time as a student and the beginning of their life as a professional in their chosen field. According to gov.uk, in the UK, around 400,000 students graduate with a bachelor's degree every year, with some courses more popular than others. StudyInTheUK.org reported that the top 5 most popular undergraduate degrees are business, law, psychology, engineering and technology, and medicine. When researching the benefits to having a bachelor's degree, I came across an article on Indeed.com that offered these points as an advantage to having a bachelor's degree. According to Indeed.com, a bachelor's degree can offer more career opportunities, prepare you for prestigious careers, offer better income potential. It can ensure job security, enhance job contentment, promote personal growth, improve self-esteem, and offer networking opportunities. In some industries, such as medicine and engineering, a degree is beneficial as you will need to demonstrate that you have a certain extent of knowledge to be able to be certified as a professional. Whereas those pursuing a career in a subject like business don't necessarily need to have a degree to gain the skills and knowledge needed to be in the business industry. Other means of gaining a professional qualification are becoming increasingly popular, and many people have turned to degree apprenticeships, for example. This offers students work experience and a qualification without gaining a large student debt. UCAS reported that tuition fees range from around £4,900 a year to over £30,000, with the average being around £11,000 a year. And fees are normally higher for international students. So in a time where things are getting more and more expensive, it can be expected that people are considering more affordable options. I'll be exploring just how valuable bachelor's degrees are in 2023 and if they offer the same advantages as they did a decade ago. I'll also be speaking to professionals to assess what has contributed to any changes. My name's Grace, I'm 22 and I'm studying multimedia journalism at the University of Essex. I started this course in 2019 and this wasn't really an easy decision for me as I realised I did have other options. I had my eye on some degree apprenticeships as I knew that I would be able to work, stay at home and earn a small income. This seemed appealing for me, but ultimately I decided to go away for uni so I can gain more social and networking opportunities. Initially, I wanted to pick business and management as I thought this would create more opportunities for me, but when I looked at the modules, it didn't really suit my interests. My first year of studying multimedia journalism was quite interesting as I got to utilise all of the university's facilities such as the newsroom, and I really got to exercise my journalism skills. Unfortunately, a couple of months into my course, the pandemic came and we went into a lockdown. This meant that a large portion of my degree was online. Towards the end of my course, I was able to get back on campus and have in-person lectures. Studying at Essex University gave me the opportunity to work alongside other aspiring journalists and have experiences I wouldn't have had otherwise. When deciding to study at university, I wasn't really thinking about the large debt or the academic commitment that came with it. I was more focused on going to uni for the experience. Hundreds of thousands of students across the country are faced with this tough decision every year, and I'm going to look into what impacts the decisions and if studying at uni is the right one to make. When deciding whether or not I should go to university, I reached out to a number of people and I heard a number of opinions. These are just a few.
You don't need a bachelor's degree. Uni is a scam.
Going away to university teaches you how to be an adult.
Studying at university will teach you valuable life lessons.
You don't need a bachelor's degree. It's not worth the debt.
You don't need a bachelor's degree to be a journalist.
If you don't get a degree, you won't make it.
I also looked online to gain a second opinion about attending university, and I saw some interesting perspectives.
Degrees have not become undervalued. In fact, corporations recognise that higher education often creates employees who can think creatively and problem solve. I am so tired of entry-level jobs wanting 5 to 8 years experience and telling me the bachelor's degree I just got is basically worth nothing. If we're being honest, a bachelor's degree alone has no value. No. You don't need a bachelor's degree. However, a bachelor's degree may be required for certain jobs, and then that's when you'll need it. There are a multitude of jobs, though, that don't require a bachelor's degree. These jobs are skilled or technical with a narrow scope. I think a bachelor's degree without networking has no value.
The cost of attending university has gradually increased over the years, and students who have attended university are projected to be around £30,000 in debt post-graduation. That's quite a chunk, given that the current average graduate salary is £23,000 a year. Until 1998, all education in the United Kingdom was free, up to and including university courses. The Teaching and Higher Education Act was published in November of 1997, part of which introduced tuition fees across the UK. When the Higher Education Act of 2004 was introduced, universities were able to charge up to £3,000 per student per year. This came into effect in 2006 in England and later in Northern Ireland and Wales. In 2010, the Brown Review found that more money was needed for universities, which led to fees being increased to up to £9,250 annually. This came into effect in September 2012. It's quite difficult to assess how valuable a degree will be to your career as a whole, unless you've had the degree for quite a while and you've been trying to get jobs in other opportunities, and you can assess whether it has helped you to do so. I sat down with Theo Sergio, a student in the final year of his bachelor's degree, and Michelle Dufour, who obtained her degree over 5 years ago. What is your name, age and occupation?
Hi, my name is Theo. I am 21 years old and I'm currently a student.
Do you have a bachelor's degree?
Working towards a bachelor's degree. I'm currently studying PPE at Oxford University. I advocate for other people politically and run political campaigns. I'm actually visually impaired, so I'm blind in my left eye and can only see about a metre in my right, which means that a lot of time I've been on the other side of needing support and authorities. And for that, I learned how to form my own voice. And so I've been campaigning in Parliament, campaigning against organisations, and I've found myself with the youth Parliament stuff. Yeah, when I came into university, it was 2020, so that means I started in lockdown. Now I think actually what happened is that gap between university and the start of university helped me get some really good life experience that taught me how to work, how to be a real person, get a real experience of the working world. And then when I started university, it was as if that kind of got sucked away from me, and you needed a completely different mindset to be successful in that environment. During COVID as well, you get set stuff online, you have to read independently. What I've found is that the system is extremely independent, and I could have got this knowledge if the pressure was there independently. On its own, I could have learnt this because of the extent of the internet, because of the extent of even stuff like ChatGPT nowadays. I get free contact hours a week, and any lectures I got, especially now they're in person, but for the last 2 years, were online recorded, and I actually didn't use them. I used there's Stanford lectures, there's MIT lectures, which are broadcast online, which were better than the Oxford University ones. But at the moment, I would definitely actually have more support by contacting the publishers themselves, by having the time. If I didn't do a degree and I just wanted to do this learning independently, if companies assessed me on my knowledge that I did have during a degree, then I probably would be able to demonstrate that in 3 years a lot better, especially because we've only got 8-week terms rather than a normal university term. And it'd be so much cheaper for me as well. And I can flourish my own business, at my own pace. The current system has really taken it out of me and taken my personality away from me in a way.
Do you think bachelor's degrees are still as valuable as they once were?
But if you look at when they first were a thing, the people who got involved in bachelor degrees were people who committed their lives to academics. So yes, I think it's less valuable in that sense because it's not actually helping you get a job, and it's not representative of the skills that people think it is. I don't think the knowledge I've learned in my degree is going to help me practice in law. Personally, I think the skills it's taught me how to read better, I could have learnt anyway. If we had a more academic focus in the jobs, if it's needed, then we could invest more money. We're paying £9,000 a year, for God's sake. If we're willing to invest some of that money in our own education while we're on a job, then we could get those skills and we could be more flexible.
What is your name, age and occupation?
Okay, so my name is Michelle Dufour. I am 30 and my occupation is Business Support Officer for Haringey Council. I support a team of 20 employment advisors with administrative duties. So that it ranges from speaking to residents to explain our service, booking writing reports or amending reports, dealing with data, sending out communications, setting up operational systems to make the way we work a bit easier, and overall just allowing the team to work more efficiently.
Could you tell me a bit about your academic career up to this point?
So I did GCSEs and A-levels as standard, well, GCSEs, which is standard for UK, and I studied maths, media, and what else did I study? Philosophy at A-level. And after that, I went to university and studied marketing because I just love the idea of business and being a bit creative. So I went into marketing, but I ended up not really using my qualification. But it was an interesting degree to do. I think the value of it came more from the report writing skills, being able to communicate well, like the soft skills that you would need in a job, more than the practical knowledge that I gained. But yeah, that's my career. The year I enrolled was 2012 and I graduated in 2015.
Off the top of your head, what are some positive and negative experiences you had while obtaining a bachelor's degree?
I'm trying to even think of. So I'll start with positive because I feel like I got quite a few positive things. So definitely like the soft skills, report writing, be able to communicate well, building confidence, just thinking more analytically, and accessing tools that I probably wouldn't have had access to if I didn't go to university. And networking as well. I think university is a great place to network. So there's quite a few positives. Negatives is the cost. It's really expensive. It didn't give me that much practical skills in the real working world because it's totally different from what it is in terms of the way education is set up. It's not very practical to when you actually get to a job. And yeah, that's probably the negatives, just the price and not being that practical.
Do you think that you could reach your career goals without having a degree?
100%. Definitely could have, because my career dream is project management, so that's what I'm aiming towards. And I think I could have done that without going to university. Probably thinking back, I probably would have done an apprenticeship or an internship to get the practical tools to actually do the role. And also there's like adult qualifications that you can do while you work to become a project manager. Even as long as you got the experience, you really don't need it.
In order to accurately assess how degrees have changed over the years, I contacted a higher education specialist to get a professional perspective. Julie Fowley is a principal lecturer in organisational behaviour at Brighton Business School, and her main academic interest is exploring the role of higher education institutions.
Yes, I do, particularly if the degree enables students to participate in live projects. You contacted me via LinkedIn, and this provides students with the ability to build a pre-professional identity, posting about university projects and connecting with alumni and organizations to build social capital. Degrees have changed over the last 10 years. Widening participation and diversity are key themes, and more students are studying at university. There's an expectation for young people to go to university, and for some students, it can open opportunities that did not exist for them. However, this form of study is not always best for everyone, and a decision to study at university needs to be considered carefully. Prospects provide a useful guide for alternatives at www.prospects.ac.uk. My belief is more time needs to be spent with young people, exploring all the available options.
There are many different routes you can take to get a professional qualification, and many alternatives to university. Some of these include degree apprenticeships, foundation degrees, higher apprenticeships, traineeships, entry-level jobs, work experience or internships, a gap year, or starting your own business. I sat down with Oliver Hopkinson, who managed to meet all of his career goals without a bachelor's degree. Could you introduce yourself with your name, age and occupation?
Oliver Hopkinson, Employment Officer, 53 years old. I'm a qualified guidance practitioner, currently working as an employment officer for Haringey Council. My roles are to deliver coaching, to local residents in terms of employment support.
Tell me about your academic career up until this point.
My highest level of education is probably, I've only got an HND. I started a degree in civil engineering at Loughborough University, which I didn't complete. In effect, I dropped out at my second year. I took a leave of absence to give myself a break, and of course I never went back, and the rest was history. But since leaving university, I have taken additional vocational qualifications in project management, training and counselling as well.
So what are some positive and negative experiences you had while studying at university?
I found the positives have to be around social life, have to be around friendships, have to be around my engagement with others. The negatives will probably have to be around the style of tuition, which didn't really suit my learning style, and also coursework and things like that. So it's probably to do more with the technicalities and the demands of the course. That would be closer to the negatives.
What year did you enroll into university and what year did you leave the course?
So I did my HND at one university, but it was a polytechnic back then. And then I left after 3 years. I started a degree in 1993, and I think I left in 1995, if I'm not mistaken.
Do you think a degree would have helped you to reach any career goals faster, or do you think that you managed to get where you wanted to be without the degree?
I managed to get where I want to be without the degree. In terms of my chosen career, a degree isn't necessary for being a guidance practitioner. It's not necessary at all. Basically, I'm on the same level as people who've got masters in the department, and I haven't even got a degree. I've only got an HND.
Do you think bachelor's degrees are still as valuable as they once were?
No, unquestionably. The emphasis is moving gradually towards quality apprenticeships, where students can enjoy the best of both worlds, paid tuition, in fact, or rather the opportunity to earn while they're learning, as well as getting that valuable experience and references, so that when they finish quality apprenticeships, they're in a much stronger position to be able to go for that career job, as opposed to a graduate who comes out with a history or philosophy degree, and they have no relevant vocational experience, unless it is for something specific such as medicine or engineering. Then of course degrees are essential.
Do you often meet people who have bachelor's degrees that have a hard time getting a job, or is it mostly people who don't have as much qualifications who can't find work?
The point is, it's really the type of work that people are looking for. If it's a case of getting a job, then there's an argument that people could just be overqualified if it's a case of just going for a job. But if it's a case of getting into a specific stated career, then the degree is often the prerequisite to that career that they're looking for. But then there are other people who don't need that degree. So I wouldn't have said graduates initially find it easier to get into employment than non-graduates. It depends on the field, I would have said.
Despite the various opinions and discussion around the value of a bachelor's degree, there are still a vast amount of people in higher education. In 2022, there were 2.6 million students at UK higher education institutions, and most full-time students are studying bachelor's degrees. This means that millions of students are making the decision to get a bachelor's degree in hopes that it will be of benefit to them in the future. My course was designed to enable me to exercise my journalistic skills and become a refined journalist. Many university courses across the country are structured so that students will be 100% equipped to work in the real world once they graduate and start looking for work. I found that it was important to develop my journalistic skills in my own time and create content and work with producers. This gave me a broad range of experience whilst I studied. and created the perfect balance, as I was able to get professional experience from being on my university course and real-world experience from working in the industry. My research has helped me to draw the conclusion that it is imperative to put a lot of thought into deciding whether or not to study at university, and to really consider whether it's necessary for your chosen career path, as there are so many other options out there and so many different ways to get into many industries, and they should all be explored.